Hello everybody, welcome to Sound Off Sports. I'm Mike Davis. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about Bronny James. What do you think about that debut Summer League performance? Plus, Anthony Edwards, he thinks he's the #1 option on Team USA. Is that the truth? We'll hear what you have to say on that as well. Plus, we got some major YouTube stars joining us in the studio. SOS starts right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Sam and Ash.
Hello everybody, welcome to Sound Off Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Davis, joined by my main man, producer James Edward Barrickman IV. Great show for you guys today. We're going to be talking a lot about basketball pretty much the entire show. James, first thing we got to talk about is what everybody is frankly talking about when it comes to Summer League. Bronny James made his Summer League debut with the Lakers. Didn't do too much to convert critics into believers. But James, what are people at home saying when it comes to evaluating this debut? Should we be taking a lot of credence into what this performance laid out for us?
Bronny James is not an NBA player. We all know the only reason why he's there is because his dad's LeBron. He averaged 4 points a game at USC, and he definitely needs more time in college. So let's keep it real. And to me, it does a serious blow to the NBA when you see the nepotism with LeBron and his son bringing him into the league and the Lakers actually picking him. So take care.
All right, thanks for the call. Yeah, I mean, listen, we spoke about this in great length in previous shows. I don't want to keep railing on Bronny James. He's got a lot to do to develop to become a rotational player, even at best, in the NBA, and he certainly could use more time, whether it's in the G League or in collegiate. So, I mean, he's really going to be using his time in the G League to get more of, to develop further, which he really needs. James, what else are people saying beyond that just one voicemail?
So this is from Jody Gallegos on Facebook. She says, how can you be disappointed? This is what he is, mediocre and not ready for the NBA.
I mean, it's interesting. Listen, I actually don't want to go all. It's one game, so let's hold the horses a little bit. It is one game. He could, develop into a tremendous player. We'll see. I don't know if that's his ceiling, but I think you can't get on the kid for one game in the Summer League. You got to see what he can do. James, what is your take on this whole situation?
So I kind of agree with Jody, honestly. Am I disappointed in the performance? Yes, because I want Bronny James to be good. I think it would be great for the league. But am I surprised by this at all? Absolutely not. We knew what Bronny James was coming out of school. He came out too early. He's not NBA ready. He didn't even start at USC, and he averaged less than 5 points a game. So no, I am not surprised at all. What Bronny James needs, as you mentioned, is time in the G League. He needs 2 to 3 seasons in the G League to really develop his game. And then maybe at the end of that timeline, he becomes a ready-made NBA player. But like I said, I'm not surprised at all.
I do think, it is important to take a look at the Summer League and that type of development and what that actually means for players because, performances in the Summer League do translate to the NBA. We saw guys, Donovan Mitchell is a guy who had tremendous time in the Summer League. Same with Damian Lillard. Even, it is telling to see what players are going to do at the next level by taking a look at their Summer League performances. Some of the Summer League MVP recipients are guys like Keegan Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Brandon Clark, Josh Hart, Tyus Jones, Kyle Anderson, Valanciunas, Lillard, Blake Griffin, Nate Robinson, Randy Foye. So a lot of these guys, it's not just the MVP guys, but it's the guys who are, big factors, rotational players, 6 men, guys who really carve out roles for long-term NBA careers. So I do think it is something telling to see what a player can do after college, after, playing somewhere else and then going to play their first level of NBA basketball in the Summer League. It is telling to see what they can do at that level. So it's not like we should be saying, hey, Bronny, this is just Summer League basketball. No, Summer League basketball is meaningful, and it definitely translates to what we're going to see with our own eyes at the next level when you're playing in the 82-game season. What else are we hearing, though, from people?
Anthony R. Goins on Facebook says, no, exactly what his career average will be in the G League, maybe less. He's a son of a player, not an actual professional.
I mean, at this point, the hate is getting to be, it's piling on so much that I would be interested to see if he's going to really, I mean, maybe this is the chip on his shoulder he's always needed. You know,
Right.
He's the son of LeBron. He's probably had a very easy course of his young adult life. Now, this is the first level of criticism, and this is the first obstacle really in his path. And maybe this is going to be exactly what he needs, that chip on his shoulder to propel him to become the best player he can be. I don't see it, but I'm definitely rooting for it. James, what's our last?
We got two more here. Tempe Tim on Facebook says, we can all joke, but I have to wonder who wants this more. I think Pops does. Don't think Bronny really cares all that much. Plus, since he did have a major heart scare, that is something Bronny has to live with the rest of his life, the what-ifs, which could affect the game of basketball.
I mean, it's interesting. I haven't heard that take yet because it is fascinating. It's almost like, something we see in childhood athletics where a parent wants the success more than the child actually wants to be playing on the field. They want to be at home playing video games, and the parent wants them on the field performing at their highest. So I don't know. I mean, that's a fascinating take as well. I think the very least, we're going to see very quickly the type of drive he has and whether he's really playing at a level and an intensity. You're going to be able to tell that very quickly from an NBA standpoint. It is, a concern, the points, the averages, his height, where he fits on the floor. I mean, there's a lot of question marks to his game. So it's going to be fascinating. But yeah, I think intensity and a lot of those intangibles will be the telling factor when it comes to that particular point. What's our last comment, James?
Finally, we got Norberto Rodriguez on Facebook. He says, y'all do realize he's not going to be on the regular season roster. He's going to be sent to the G League. The only ones that will make the regular season roster, just my opinion, is Hinson and Dalton. Blake Hinson, undrafted rookie out of the University of Pittsburgh.
I mean, here's the big thing. The reason why people get so aggravated and upset and why this is garnering so much excitement on social media is because he's not being treated like a player of his stature with beyond the name. Because the thing is, most players in that 55 overall pick slot, they're getting a two-way contract. They're not getting a guaranteed deal with $7 million guaranteed. It's a different situation because of who his father is. And that's a big factor in terms of why he's garnering so much hate on social media. James, any last takes, anything, last words you want to say on this?
No, I just think that, Bronny wants this. Let's not act like LeBron's pushing him harder than he wants to be. Like, everybody wants to play in the NBA. Every kid ever growing up wants to play in the NBA. I don't think that's an issue at all, but I do, like you mentioned, think this is really the first time he's been put in the spotlight receiving this kind of hate. So it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to this and if this is really the fire lit under him that he needs to get over the hump and become an NBA player. Finally, Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
Outside of Bronny James, I loved that pick for the Lakers. I thought that was a steal of the first round. Really athletic, can shoot, and also Blake Hinson. I don't like to speak too highly of people that went to the University of Pittsburgh. Blake Hinson can play, shot 42% from three, can pull from the parking lot, and I think Lakers fans are going to be really excited about what this kid can do.
They needed to surround LeBron with more shooting, and they definitely have done that in the draft. So they needed young talent. They got some young talent and some shooters. It's going to be interesting to see what the Lake Show is like in the coming years. Coming up after a short break, we got two big-time YouTubers joining us in the studio. Yes, we got YPK Ray and Tristan Jass. You don't want to miss it. That's coming up after a short break.
You're watching Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Sam and Ash.
All right, welcome back to SOS. We got to talk about the Hennessy NBA Creator Cup going down here in Vegas. We got two big creators we got to introduce right now. YPK Ray, Tristan Jass. Thank you guys so much for being with us. I mean, listen, you guys are legends on social media, but now you're partaking in this Hennessy NBA Creator Cup. What does it feel like to be a part of this? I know, Tristan, you already were a part of NBA Celebrity Weekend. You played in that game. So what does it mean to now take the court again in NBA fashion?
Hey, man, I think it's just, I think it's a really cool opportunity for us to get out there and just have some fun, get a lot of good content for our channels, and just get a couple buckets, you know? It's just another game for us, you know what I'm saying? So we just having fun with it.
And, you know, you guys are constantly, your social presence is intertwined really with the sport of basketball. I know you do a lot. You do Chick-fil-A. You do a little bit of everything. You got some dating things on there. You got everything. He's the only guy who orders soup at Chick-fil-A. We'll talk about that next time.
We don't have to talk about it.
We don't have to do that. But what is it about basketball? What is it about basketball that brings everybody together? Why is it such a presence on both your channels?
I mean, I played all my life, and I kind of shaped my life around basketball. So it's just like to be able to showcase my skills, my talent, acting skills, whatever the case may be, through the sport of basketball is just like honestly a dream come true. Everybody wants to be, on that NBA level. Growing up, I want to go to the NBA. I feel like this is my way of making it without being there. You know what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful thing. I know you guys both really played from a young age. I know you even just tried out for like a Canadian team I saw professionally. Tell us a little bit about your maturation as a basketball player, a little bit what it was like growing up playing, and what are you, like a Matthew Dellavedova? How do you play?
Man, I'm like white chocolate, man.
Really? You're Jason, you're Jay Will.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to compare myself to a legend, but no, I just, I like to get out there. I got a little shifty game. I might surprise you out there a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just, I got a lot of flash in the game, so.
What about you, YPK?
High energy. They call me Baby John Morant. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, they call me like Baby MJ, Baby John Morant. It's like, I'm not really there for the comparisons though, you know what I'm saying? I try to be like myself, but.
One of the most athletic dudes I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
And you've seen a lot of athletic guys. Now, what is the competition going to be like? Like, are you guys okay to even be this close seated next to each other? Are you on the same team for this cup? I mean,
we don't even know.
We played together last year.
You played together last year.
Yeah.
So give us feed us into what this really is like when it comes to creators coming together and kind of competing on the court. What is that like?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's like another game for me, honestly, but I think it's just cool, like, it's kind of like a whole new movement. Like this, 10, 20 years ago, this really wasn't happening, So for the NBA to allow us to get out there and, all these creators come together and we have some fun on the court, I think it's cool. It's a lot of competitiveness, too, for sure out there, which is also really good. But yeah.
I feel like it's a new age of basketball, that's coming up because now it's like people who aren't really pro athletes, and now I feel like we're a lot more accessible than, those NBA guys. It's like these people see me at Walmart, Target, here, there, the gas station. You don't really get to see LeBron or somebody that you see on TV or watch all the time really in person. But now it's just like now you get to see these people in person showcasing their skills and stuff like that.
You got over like 5 million subscribers on YouTube. You got over 2. Who's somebody, I mean, you guys are stars in your own right. Who's like an NBA player you'd freak out if they came up to you? Who are you wanting to see? Who's somebody that would just, blow your mind?
I don't know. I feel like all of them, it's crazy meeting them because, like I said, you only see these guys on TV growing up. So, I've done a lot of stuff with the NBA lately, so I have met and seen and stand next to a lot of these guys.
What's been the most memorable?
Probably the in-season tournament.
Gotcha. Here in Vegas.
I went to a lot of the Utah games, the Phoenix Suns and stuff, and just standing next to these guys. These guys have like a crazy aura. Like you can feel their presence.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like, it's not like I'm going to fangirl, but it's just like you kind of feel that. And it's like these guys are confirmed real now. Because you don't even know that they're really real until like they're standing there next to you.
That's what's the crazy thing about the NBA. When you really get to sit up close, when you get to be live in person at games, you really see how freaky it is to see how athletic these human beings are on the stage and how big they are. You being from Wisconsin, I'm assuming you're a Bucks fan, right? Aren't you a big Giannis guy?
Yes, sir.
Have you met him?
Yes, sir. Good friends with him and his family. Great people. Love those guys. Great people. The whole family.
I love it.
Good people.
That's great stuff. Listen, everybody, you want to make sure you go check out the Hennessy NBA Creator Cup. It's going down here in Vegas. 2 great creators going to be a part of that game. You got to love it. Real quickly, let's do some just rapid fire questions, okay? Let's do it. You guys down?
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
here
get
we
it.
go. Ready? 2K, NBA 2K25. Jason Tatum is on the cover. Good or bad?
I think that's dope.
You like it?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Shouldn't it be Jaylen Brown? Shouldn't it be the MVP?
It's either way. I think that's just cool for Jason Tatum to be on there.
I can understand both ways.
You can see it both ways.
Yeah, it could go
Okay.
either way, but yeah, it's dope. I think it's really cool.
All right. Next question. Bronny James. What's his impact going to be like on the NBA level? What do you think?
Whatever they need him to do, he's going to do. He's going to adjust. I feel like I feel like you're gonna belong wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying? And just like he's gonna prepare himself to be there. So whatever role they need him to fulfill, it's either he's gonna do it or he's not. So I feel like there's not much more that really goes into it. You know?
Yeah. I feel like he gets a lot of negative comments and stuff online, and I think he's really not letting that affect him. And, you know, while people are sitting online talking, you know, crazy or whatever, he's in the gym getting reps up. You know, so I really think he might come in here and shock a lot of these people that are talking down on him. I 100% think he will, for sure.
All right. And lastly, who is your GOAT all time?
Ooh. There's a lot of GOATs, man.
There's only one.
Who's our favorite player of all time? Or like who is the best player of all time?
Who is the best player of all time?
I'm going to go Michael Jordan, too.
For sure.
Right.
I'm going to go MJ.
See, two creators, both on the same page here,
Yes,
playing
sir.
in the Hennessy NBA Creator Cup. Make sure you go check it out. UNLVtickets.com. That's the place to go get tickets.
Oh, yeah. They're moving quick, so y'all better go tap in and get some tickets, man. They're moving really quick. UNLVtickets.com. Go get your tickets.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks for having me.
Next time, we'll talk about the Chick-fil-A soup. What was it? Chicken noodle? What is
It's chicken noodle soup.
It was, listen.
I never had it.
It's strange. You know, it's kind of like playing Victor Wembanyama at the point guard position. Why would you do it? We have no clue. But YPK Ray, he likes Chick-fil-A soup. Guys, we'll be right back after a short commercial break. We'll see you in 2 seconds. All right, welcome back to SOS. All right, so now we're going to be talking about a big topic that's going around in the media. Anthony Edwards, the young stud shooting guard for the Minnesota Timberwolves, he thinks as a member of Team USA basketball heading into the Olympics in Paris, he thinks he's the #1 option on this roster. We asked you at home what you thought about those big words. James, what are people saying?
This first one from Carlos Gomez on Facebook. He says, not going to lie, he ain't lying also.
Okay, so I guess he thinks that's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, he is a young stud. What's the next response say?
The next one from Armando Gutierrez on Facebook. He says, arrogant man.
Yeah.
See what he did there?
Play on words.
Yes.
His nickname's for Anthony, AntMan. So listen, I'm in total disagreement with his sentiment, Anthony Edwards, on this. Listen, this is one of the most talented rosters we've seen in USA basketball in a long time. They won in 2020, 2016, 2012, 2008, 04, that's when they lost. But this is a team that's always winning. And, you know, yes, international talent is growing within the NBA, and it's going to be hard facing some teams like Canada, France, of course, that's always the case. But this is a deep roster. I mean, last time around, some of the guys on the team were people like Chris Middleton, Keldon Johnson, Zach LaVine, JaVale McGee was on the roster last year. So they've always had issues getting big men who could suit up and compete against these foreign countries. This year, it's not going to be an issue with that. They have Joel Embiid. They have Anthony Davis playing for the first time. They have Steph Curry playing for the first time. Steph Curry's never played in the Olympics. This is his first go-around. This is the first time Steve Kerr's coaching the team. He was an assistant in the past. So for Anthony Edwards to think that he's going to be, at his ripe young age, the #1 option when you still have KD, Tatum, LeBron, Steph, I mean, he's not going to be the first option, Anthony Edwards. There's no way that that could be the case.
I am not mad at Anthony Edwards for wanting to be the #1 option and for saying what he said. He's the ultimate competitor.
He has like wide receiver, cornerback energy in the NFL. That's what he's
Well, there's a reason there was that whole, is he the next MJ sort of tone about him going through the playoffs there? Because he does have that sort of killer instinct where he thinks he's the best player on the floor at all times. And the great ones, they all do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do agree with you.
Yeah, so
I don't think he's going to be the #1 option.
That's a good point, James. Yes. I'm not against him for believing in himself, but it's not the truth. I mean, he cannot be the #1 option. This is going to be competitive. This is, I mean, it's a different thing than the NBA Olympics. It's a hard game. There's teams that have been practicing, playing together for years. Steve Kerr's got a tough job. He's got to get all these guys who haven't played together in a long time, or maybe ever, you know, getting them all together and getting some synergy and teamwork functioning. That's why when they lose a Kawhi Leonard and they bring in a Derek White, people are like, why not just bring, Jaylen Brown in or something like that? The reason why they're not doing that is because they're probably trying to get more role players in the mix, because you can't just have a team of stars and expect everything to go perfectly. You need to have some glue guys. So I'm assuming that's the thought process behind some of those types of guys, and that's why you have a Drew Holiday rather than, I guess, someone else.
And a Derek White, but I agree with you 100%. I think there's a reason that LeBron and Steph, they opted in this time around. This is kind of their last go at it, their first Olympics together. It's going to be the old head show. It's going to be KD, Steph, LeBron kind of leading the way. That would be my thought, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's Embiid ends up being the leading scorer on that team, or AntMan.
I'm saying Embiid's going to be the true difference maker, because you're going to need a big man facing other bigs in Olympic play, and he's going to be probably a number one option, I would assume him. But I also think, listen, Steph is going to come to play, and he's going to want that hardware. I know that, knowing him. So, I think it's going to be interesting, but we do love that Anthony Edwards has that faith in himself. Listen, Team USA, 16 gold medals. We're hoping it's going to be number 17. Guys, coming up after a short break, we got a little bit more basketball for you. We got to talk about the cover. Yes, the cover of NBA 2K. We got some details on that coming up in Sink or Swim. All right, welcome to Sink or Swim. One last thing, everybody. Listen, the cover athlete for 2K25 is going to be Jason Tatum. It's not even Jaylen Brown, the MVP of the NBA Finals. Can the media stop trying to make Jason Tatum like a superstar? He has no personality. He's good. He's not the best player in the NBA. I just don't get it. What about Nikola Jokic? What about Jalen Brunson? What about Joel Embiid? All would have been better options for the cover. Plus, the one good thing they did, though, Asia Wilson's going to be on the WNBA edition. We got to love that. Some love for Asia Wilson. We'll see you guys next time on SOS.